All right, we're just going to go through the process of rebuilding the 1911 government model type frame. Our main job is accurizing them. From the factory, out of a machine rest, they'll probably shoot in the neighborhood of a 10-shot group around a foot. And before they leave here, it has to be under 3 inches, 10 consecutive shots. And that's our main job. This is our rack we work out of, and what we have is customer guns that send their own guns in. And of course, new guns we start with and rebuild. And as you can see from the tags, we do guns all over the country and all over the world, licensed exporters. Tommy here does all our revolver and .22 Ruger work. He's usually stays about 3 or 4 months behind just on .22 Ruger trigger jobs. We'll get back to those at the next bench here. And these are just some guns that are ready for bluing. And here we have some barrels, Douglas barrel stock that has been machined down to fit the 1022s, sporters, for the Sportsman's Team Challenge, and quite a few 16 1/4 inch for the squirrel hunters. We didn't anticipate the market for the hunters, and they're doing as much now as the competition shooters are. Fluted for the weight, shorter and fluted for the weight, 16 1/4 and fluted. Takes off about 1.5 pounds, which is a little heavy for a 21 1/2 inch round barrel for the squirrel hunters. Yeah, now here's a 16 1/4 fluted, and it makes a nice little package and it's not too heavy to carry in the woods. Okay, even on the squirrel guns, we still guarantee under 1/2 inch at 50 yards with good target ammunition. Okay, we're a fairly complete machine shop. We have to do most of our machine work here with lathe and mill work. Mr. Brandon here is finishing up some 1911 barrels. These are in 38 super caliber. For the IPSC competition, yes, we do. In fact, we have a lot of trouble keeping enough barrels in stock.
Even though some of the newer high-capacity guns are coming on the scene, there's still a huge demand for the 1911.
Well, of course, the Para ordinance and of course the Caspians or whatever, they still use a 1911 type barrel, so that won't change the barrel market any. Okay, from the 16 1/4 model we build for the squirrel hunters, this is the full competition model for the Sportsman's Team Challenge, complete with, of course, custom stock and same Douglas barrel, trigger job, Weaver bases, and so forth. Makes a nice setup. Laminated wood stock, a lot stronger than a standard wood. For a complete laminated stock finish like this one is, you're looking at $250. Doesn't include the rifle, no. We've only offered these just recently, and so far they've been real popular. This is our drilling and rifling operation, where we drill and rifle the barrel forgings. This is a broach for the cut rifle barrels. And you can see it's just a series of a lot of little teeth, and it's turned in rotation through this long broaching machine. Right, we get a solid blank. This is a deep hole drill machine where we drill the holes, of course, and then rifle them over here. This is called cut rifle, and you figure a little brooch like that's about $3,500. Probably best known for bullseye type and IPSC or combat type pistols. This is our newest compensator, we call it, is a recoil master, and this is at a 45. The IPSC shooters or the combat shooters are the people playing some of the money games use these type of guns. Steel Challenge, Bianchi Cup, make Bianchi Cup revolvers, IPSC sort of things. It's really a lot of fun. Anything from grip safeties to barrels to some different sights, machine checkering of frames, do all kind of work on them. If you want to call, the area code is 318, telephone number 925-0836. Mailing address, Post Office Box 530, Keithville, Louisiana, 71047. Thanks for coming.
And certainly don't worry about any stumble or bobble where you say something because we'll edit. Don't worry about that at all. That'll be fine.
Okay.
Well, here we are today in Keithville, Louisiana, at Clark's Custom Guns, and we have none other than Kay Clark, daughter of one of the best-known gunsmiths and pistolsmiths, especially in the world, Jim Clark Sr. And Kay works here in the shop in her dad's company, and she is a champion shooter, has competed in silhouette, and certainly has done really well in IPSC shooting in the last, several years, in fact. So Kay is going to help us on our women's portion of our program today. So we're going to ask her a couple of questions. Kay, as a woman, what would you recommend to a new female shooter to think about as a first firearm or first handgun?
First of all, the handgun you have is the best one. That's the one that's going to do you the most good. If you already have a handgun in the house, a husband's or one's been passed down from your family, learn to shoot it. If you're going to go out and buy one, there are lots of choices. I would recommend for a first-time shooter a revolver. For a woman, probably a 38 Special. You can put hot loads in it. And a revolver is about as simple as a functioning handgun as you're going to get. You don't have to worry about jams or very few malfunctions can occur with a revolver. However, like I say, if you have another gun, if you have a semi-automatic, there's a lot of been said that women should just have revolvers because they can't figure out how to handle an automatic and so forth. Totally untrue. Whatever gun you have, a woman can learn to handle it just as well as any man, but for starters, that would go for men or women. I would first recommend a revolver.
Now, Kay, a lot of women are becoming interested in competition shooting, especially in IPSC. And why don't you tell us how, for the ladies to get started in shooting IPSC competition?
IPSC is based on, it was first formulated as a defense type shooting. It was based on law enforcement training and so forth. So it's a very good competition for a woman to get into, even if she doesn't really, not in it for the competition, but just for the practice. You can take whatever handgun you have, or the handgun you're probably going to use, in your home for defense. You can take it out and shoot it in the IPSC match. You probably won't score up there in the top with the people that are shooting really competitive guns, but you'll learn to handle the weapon well, which is what the basis of IPSC is. But if you really want to get into the competition part and be a competitive shooter on a national level or so forth, you'll have to get a tricked out gun. Get you a good gunsmith to go through it. And
would you recommend a Clark custom gun for that? Would you?
That wouldn't be a bad one. That'd be a pretty good choice, I think. That, of course, is what I shoot in competition. And I just got, about 3 months ago was the IPSC Nationals, where I lucked into the high woman, United States Women's Champion, although I did get beat by a Filipino girl. And I mentioned that too. For any lady that wants to shoot competition, you don't necessarily have to be, how should I put that, athletic. I mean, it's a fun match. IPSC is. It started out as based on supposed to be real life scenarios. So you do a lot of different things. You run and shoot around doors and go prone and so forth. Things that you might have to actually do if you're trying to defend yourself in a real life situation. So as far as preparing a woman for for an event, for an actual defense.
It's certainly it could be seen as helpful for practice for the real thing that ever occurred.
Yes, exactly. That's what it was based on to start with, and it still would. I guarantee you, if you go shoot an IPSC match, you'll be better prepared for the real life thing than if you had never shot one. Even though it's a game, but it can definitely get you more prepared.
Well, one thing I'd like to comment on from the matches that I personally have shot in and certainly have observed, the attitude that the male competitors have toward the rim. And I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna restart that one more time. Yes, if I can get my tongue untied here. Okay. Okay, a point I want to mention is from the matches I have personally shot in and observed, the attitude of the male competitors toward the ladies, female competitors, is real good. It seems to be totally professional. There's no funny business that anyone would have to worry about taking their wife or any problem of that nature. Is that what you found?
Oh yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, it should be a family thing. My kids go with me to any of the local matches. My kids usually go, and even an advantage of having kids sometime. Of course, at these matches, you help run. You run tape targets and do other things while the other competitors are shooting. When I have my kids with me, there's any number of people volunteer to go take my turn to tape targets and score and so forth. It's while I watch my kids. So it's but and the men and the women. If you go to an IPSC match, you'll go up there, of course, not knowing what you're doing exactly, but ask anybody. They'll all be willing to help you and give you maybe more help than you want. So.
Okay, why don't you give us an idea of what you personally are competing with? And I see you do have a couple of guns there handy, so why don't you just tell us what they are?
This is a 38 Super, model 1911. It's on a casting frame, got a Colt slide. This is the gun I use for my IPSC shooting. The hottest thing going right now is a scope. It's a red dot scope. Also, right now, most of the top shooters are switching to high capacity autos, which hold 14 to 19 rounds. This one, I haven't caught up with them yet. It holds 10 rounds in the magazine, so 11 rounds total. But that's my IPSC gun. And then I have another gun. This is a 40 Smith & Wesson. This is a 40 Smith & Wesson. Both of these guns do have compensators on them. This helps reduce recoil. This particular one is used for the Chevy Truck Sportsman's Team Challenge, where last year I was on the winning women's team, and this year they'll have another women's category, and I think they're going to have, last year there were about 6 women's teams, and this year it looks like there's going to be at least twice that many, so it'll be a good match. And in that particular match you shoot rifle, shotgun, and pistol. But this is the one I prefer for it's a precision event, 35 yards, 10 shots in a small amount of time. But it will also have a scope on it. I've got scope rings. I just haven't got my scope on there yet.
Okay, we certainly appreciate you taking time to visit with us here, and I know that a lot of the ladies around the country will be encouraged by watching you on our program, and certainly they can learn from your actions and some of the other very fine lady shooters. So we thank you so much for your time and trouble today.